So good evening everyone, and welcome to the meditation of December 1st. And we like to give a few minutes for people to arrive. So I'll just put some music on, and if you happen to be listening, just settle down, find a comfortable place to sit, take some deep breaths and relax. So we'll just wait another minute or two before we begin. Welcome whoever's online. Please do get comfortable, close your eyes. Let any stress or fatigue of the day just be pulled out of your body and into the earth beneath you, whether it's the floor, the first floor or the 10th floor. We use the elements in Sahaja Yoga quite a bit because they're completely pure and they have that quality of purifying. So when we say let your tiredness or stress get absorbed into the Mother Earth, it actually does happen. It's not like we're imagining it. And there's another element we use quite a lot, that is the fire. As you see, there's a candle in front of the photo this evening. Fire is another one of the very pure elements that purifies the atmosphere. And we also use water. In this case, in the form of a bucket with water, salted water in it, which my feet happen to be sitting in at the moment. And I would encourage you to give this technique a try. It will really enhance the meditation experience and either re-energize you or settle you down for a good night's sleep, whichever you happen to need at that time. So for foot soaking, we would take a plastic bucket or basin, fill it with water. It can either be warm or cool according to how you're feeling. If you need to slow down after a very hectic day, then a little bit cooler water is recommended. But if you're just feeling lethargic, sluggish, not wanting to do anything but sit in your chair, then perhaps warmer water would be best. Add a handful of salt and keep a little towel and some rinse water nearby. And then simply put your feet in and do the meditation, which we'll be doing in a minute. And you'll notice that your attention is better. And you'll probably be able to be a bit more sensitive, feeling the vibrations on your hands. Definitely something to give a try. So let's sit with our palms facing upward and our eyes closed. And let's take our right hand with the palm still facing upward, place it in front of the area of our sacrum bone, and we'll slowly bring our hand along the spinal column upwards, just in front of our body, and we'll go just up above the top of the head. En route, we can massage our scalp a little bit. And we'll do that 3 more times, and as we do it, we'll keep our attention with our hand. As our hand rises, our attention rises with it, and we'll hold our hand really as if we're carrying something special, which we are. We're actually carrying strands of this divine energy which is inside of all of us in the sacrum bone. And this energy follows our attention. So if we bring our attention up, the energy will rise as well and help us establish a state of meditation. Now let's massage the scalp for a moment with the right hand. And with our hand resting on the crown of the head, we can silently ask this motherly energy within, Mother, please, may I experience a state of true meditation. We can then raise our right hand a few inches above the top of the head and just take a moment to notice any sensations we might feel on our palm. It's quite a subtle energy, but with a little experience we get used to what it feels like. It can be a bit warm or a bit cool. Now we'll keep our attention just where our hand is, but we'll bring our right hand back down to our lap. Let's place our right hand on our heart now in the center. And we will take some deep breaths, inhaling, holding it for some time, and then exhaling it, holding it out for some time. And as we do that, again, we'll keep our attention at the top of the head. We'll just notice the thoughts reduce. The space between the thoughts will increase with this breathing. Do it at our own rhythm. We can also say the affirmation silently. Mother, I am the pure spirit. This is a great way to dissociate ourselves from our thinking mind, our ego, or our emotions, or anything that might be pulling us out of this present moment. The spirit is that part of ourselves that's always in the present moment. William Blake called it the eternal now. And it's an amazing place to be. And with meditation, with a little bit of practice, we can touch this eternal now, which is very restorative and joy-giving. And in the now, there is no thought. And when there's no thought, we're really carried on this energy. That does exist all the time, but our thinking tends to pull us out of this source of energy and into our own tiring world. Let's move our right hand and place it gently across the throat. Another important energy center in our being. And it's where our inner self meets the outside world. And where our integration as a personality happens. And here we can ask, Mother, please make me a detached witness. With this witness state, we can watch things from the perspective of our spirit, not get involved, not get disturbed. It's not that we're not aware, it's just that we're not disturbed. This balance is what allows us to ascend. We can put our right hand back on the lap. And now we'll keep this attention, peaceful attention at the top of the head, going to play about a 10-minute excerpt from a public program in 1980 in London. One of the thousands of programs Sri Mataji gave in her lifetime across the globe for free to share this incredible, subtle knowledge with anyone who is interested. She says it better than anyone could, so I will, without further ado, put this excerpt on. Do enjoy it. She, in the beginning, makes a little reference to a talk before, but it doesn't matter. Just enjoy in that meditative mood.
For the first time. I'm sorry I have to say all these things because today was the meeting of the Sahajogis in the beginning, and we are all going to enter into the same realm, and it will be handy for you to know what is expected of Sahajogis, and with that expectation I request you not to pay attention to what I've said much. You should not be frightened. It's not that frightening. You'll like it later on very much, what I've said it is. So come forward. Those who have come for the first time, please come forward. You've come for the first time? All right, come forward. It'll be better than me. No, here on the chair. On the first chair, row chair. Will be good idea. Yes. Actually, it happens that your religion gets enlightened. You become that. Then you can't help it what to do. I mean, you don't have to tell, don't do. It just happens, you just can't do it, you see. It's so helpful, isn't it? You just can't do it. You don't feel like doing it. Because if you are enjoying your spirit, you don't feel like doing nonsensical things. It is better to get it and see for yourself what happens. Alright? That's the best way to give it a full chance. Those who have come for the first time, do come forward. You have come for the first time? Please come. No, you are not for the first time. Please, let her come forward here. Just come. Those who have come before, you are all for the first time, all of you? No, you can go one step backward. Alright? It's a good idea. You see, you can receive my vibrations even from there where Kingsley is. Isn't it, Kingsley? Aren't you receiving my vibration? Much more. Yes, that's it. Now, this is a system which is built within us. That's why it is called as Sahaja. This is what is the system within us that exists. Sahaja means born with you. This is all born with you. It's all, you have achieved it. It's all within you. It's a system that is, say, built into this or built into that. In the same way, it's a system built into you. You're just ready. You have to be put to the mains. That's all is the job. For putting to the mains also, there's something built into you. If you see the triangular bone called a sacrum, means sacrum. No, this Kundalini is this. This is the one that gives you your rebirth. By rebirth, what happens? That your awareness, which is human awareness, becomes enlightened by your spirit. Your spirit comes into your awareness. So far your spirit is not. Your spirit knows all about you. It is in your heart. But you do not know about it. So what happens? This spirit, which is enjoying itself, enlightens your awareness and you get a new awareness, by which you start feeling a cool breeze in your hand. A cool breeze in your hand. And this cool breeze, for the first time on your central nervous system, starts flowing, so you feel it, actually feel it. Now the enlightenment takes place of all these centers which are within you, which are there because of our evolutionary process. And these enlightened centers are on your fingers. They get enlightened too. And you start feeling them within you. You start feeling your own centers and you start feeling the centers of others. Now this happening takes place within you of the Kundalini awakening, just to attract your attention inside. Because your attention is outside, you cannot take it in. You know, many people think you put your attention here, you put your attention there. It's all wrong. It has to be spontaneously attracted inside, and is done by this Kundalini. And Kundalini is just like a germinating primule within us, a seed. It just rises spontaneously. And when it rises, it breaks through here. And this is what is the real baptism. You really feel it here coming up. You can feel the cool breeze coming up. You can feel the cool breeze from your hands. This is real baptism that John the Baptist wanted people to have, and that Christ taught us. All the religions have taught us to be in the center. When they said, don't do this, don't do that, they did not want to condition us, but to tell us that how we are going to be in the center. And when we are in the center, then what happens to us? That you get the desire to know your spirit. And this desire is fulfilled through the awakening of the Kundalini. Now the Sahaja Yoga at this stage is really a Mahayoga. In the sense it is the great yoga, because many people can get realization. Thousands of people can get it, because the blossom time has come. But even if they get realization, they have to be looked after, they have to be nourished, they have to be told about it. Everything should be decoded. You'll be amazed. Everything becomes so logical gradually when you start understanding it. Your complete freedom is established. Nobody says that don't do this. Nothing is said. But you just don't do it yourself. I will not tell you as Moses had to tell. Poor thing. He had to face all the bad people. But no. After realization just happens. You just don't do it. You will not do it. It just happens to you. It is nothing to be told. It just happens. It works. This is what is Sahaja. In the beginning, you have to be really ardent Sahaja. In the beginning, you have to be. It's the beginning of Sahaja Yoga, still in England, I would say. Really ardently attached to it. By which you develop yourself very well and develop this tree of Sahaja Yoga in your own country. Because you have to save so many. The last judgment has started. It started. Through Kundalini awakening, only you judge yourself. You know what are the centers you are catching, what are your problems, you know what are the centers others are catching. You judge yourself. Supposing a person comes and tells me, Mother, my aga is very bad. You know what it means? That my ego has developed. But you tell somebody you have got an ego, you'll have a punch on your head. But the person himself comes and says, Mother, I see my ego. You start seeing yourself. You start seeing your problems. Because you are out of it. And then you can cure it also and make it better. You improve it, and you are better. You judge yourself. And you judge yourself with love and understanding. You don't hate yourself by that. It's only you, yourself, you are going to judge. Within you is the power of God that judges you. It's the spirit which tells you. And a power is established in the spirit. The spirit itself will tell you this is the mistake, this is the problem. We don't need anybody to tell us. It's only you who will know. It's only you who will judge yourself. It's only you who will grow yourself. It's your own freedom. It's your own self. Your entire personality changes. Entire personality changes. I've never told anybody not to take drugs as such, except for one or two people who are still carrying on, but also very mildly. And I told them how to get rid of it. But you just don't want to take it. Just don't like it. You find it very filthy. Feel like vomiting. Just like that. The religion is enlightened in your stomach. That the time has come now for you to do it. That was the time when it was not so. They taught you how to do it. But today the time has come, it can work out. You are all just there. The completion of the whole creation has to come this way. It has to work. But you cannot reason it out. But once you get it, because beyond reason, it happens beyond reason. The Kundalini awakens not by reasoning, spontaneously, by a master only. Once it happens, then the whole thing becomes logical. You see, there's a microscope, then you can see through it. But if there is not a microscope, you cannot understand. Microscope is your spirit.
We can meditate a few more minutes, just absorb the vibrations. Now, as we did at the beginning, we can take our right hand with the palm facing upward and slowly, starting at the level of the sacrum bone, slowly come up this central channel, which corresponds with the spinal cord, above the top of the head, a little massage on the top of the head as we go, and finishing a few inches above the crown of the head. We can do that slowly 3 more times with our attention following our hand. And we can also, with that right hand above the top of the head, just take a moment to notice if we feel any sensations on the palm of the hand. It can be a little closer to the head or a little bit further away. Let's keep our attention there where our hand is and just change. We'll put our left hand above the top of the head, as it's sometimes easier to feel vibrations with one hand rather than the other. Now let's take both our hands with the palms still facing upwards and just hold them comfortably at the level of our heart. It may be that we don't feel anything the first few times, but it's nice to get used to just trying out this new language of vibrations, language of our subtle being. It has a wealth of information for us to discover. And this Kundalini will be the one who helps us discover that. Not mentally, but through our spirit, the microscope, as Srimataji said. Thank you everyone for joining. And remember, you can check any of the videos on the page. They're available. This one will be posted in a few minutes, but there's a lot from previous weeks which are already up. And there's also some information in the files section, which is up at the top towards the banner of the page. So wish you all a great evening and look forward to our next meditation session.